Now, as you can see from this picture, we've made a little mess. One of the shortcuts that Photoshop has to bring a photo back to its original state, or from its saved state, is to go File, Revert, or F12. And this will just bring it back. So that's a quick way instead of pressing Control Z over and over. Now, what is a different way that we can color these white disk? Another way we can use it is the color replacement tool. This is located under the brush tool, and you'll see it says color replacement tool, shortcut B. And when you do this, you're going to see some options that will open up. It'll usually default to the color mode, and it usually will go sampling continuous here. And then it has some other settings here that you're familiar with. Now we're going to go choose a different color. I'm going to choose a bright color, and I'm going to show you what happens. So maybe I'm going to zoom in also by pressing Z, click once. There we go, so you can see a little bit better. Now what this does is, the color replacement tool says, look, you're going to sample right here, and then I'm going to replace you with this color in the foreground. So as you can, wherever you click and start, it's going to replace it. Once you let go and then click and start again, it's going to replace that new area within this tolerance. So if I click on the white, as you can see, it's painting the white. It doesn't interrupt the black because the initial area that I clicked was the white area. So as you can see here, we actually were able to color this pretty quickly, and we didn't affect the black. Now if I click again and start on the black, you can see that it will actually start painting on the black. Now let me show you something else. So that's actually pretty neat. So actually what the color replacement tool is doing is technically making a selection and replacing the color within that selection at the same time. This is a tool that's underused a lot, but it does come in handy sometimes. Now this is an interesting option also. This is the sampling once. So when you click on this tool, wherever you sample, that's it. And only replace those areas. So when I click once, it's going to remember this setting, give me a tolerance, and I have more leeway to color my image sometimes. Alright, as you can see here, we have a little spillover. So what I'm going to do is press Control Z, and then I'm going to go back to my initial setting here, and I'm going to continuous sampling. Click and sample, and be a little bit more careful this time. So as you can see here, I'm doing 2 and 1. Now you're probably saying, okay, what color are we going to color this disc? Well, we can go back to this, the color picker here and choose a different color. Or if we want, we can go to swatches. Now what I like about swatches, let me bring it out here, is if you click on this flyout menu, you have a whole lot of options. We don't have to stick with just the basic options. We can choose metallic, pastel coded, pastel uncoded. Of course these relate to printing, but hey, who says we can't use them? And then you have some other colors down here. So let's just choose pastel and see what that does. It always asks us if you want to append it, which means to add to the existing swatches or replace it. Let's just replace it. And then let's choose a pastel color. Maybe a pink this time. It's probably going to be a little bit too light. And then I'll sample here. Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit too light. Alright, but let's say I wasn't happy with this swatch and I want to go back to the original swatches. I can click my flyout menu and just say reset swatches. Click OK, and that'll bring back those original colors that we initially saw. And then I can drag my swatches back and put it in within this panel. I usually like to make it the second one. There we go. And then we'll start choosing our colors. And we'll paint with green here. That's some pretty vibrant green. We can see here that we have some color spill, so I need Control Z, and I would have to reduce my tolerance to maybe 20. And I probably would have to zoom in so that I can paint better, and maybe reduce the size of my brush. There we go. Hopefully this will allow me to do it. Okay. And then we can choose another color. Let's choose a nice little juicy red here. There we go. Alright, let me double click on the hand tool. And as you can see, our image is looking better. It looks a little fuzzy right now because of the zoom, but when you start zooming in, you can see that it clears up. And I'm going to choose a nice little blue here, see what happens. Excuse me. Color replacement tool, and we're going to paint here. And in our next lesson, we're going to talk about the background eraser and the eraser.